What was the problem or trigger that led you to reaching out to a coaching company?
What the guys found, so the three owners, Lee, Christian, Aaron, was that the business had hit a plateau. They could not get past, it was like 11, 12 million pounds worth of turnover. Just whatever happened, they couldn't move past that glass ceiling. And they realized that there was a couple of things. One, that it was a lifestyle business. And two, their sales acumen was limited to that point, that they knew they couldn't sell anymore because of the limitations. So that was the driving force behind appointing Emerse, Mornay, and the team to help, I guess, blast through the glass ceiling, right?
Got it. So if that was the broad wanting to reaching out to a coaching company, why was it specifically Emerse?
So there was a pre-existing relationship between Christian and Mornay. They'd worked together previously. Obviously, Mornay had been at the forefront of the significant growth that he had overseen at his previous company. And Christian in particular, Mornay had struck up a very good relationship. So when Mornay left the previous company, I think it was actually Christian advised him that really he should set up his own business. Like, he has a very specific skill set, is very good at it, and he did. And I believe we were one of his first, if not his first, clients. So we kind of leveraged that relationship. That's how Emerse started with us.
Love it. And what was your experience with Emerse?
It was brilliant. It was refreshing. I've certainly, for me myself, I don't consider myself a salesman in any way. What it did is, or what certainly in the early days with Mornay's, it brought a level of professionalism, realization, certainly science behind. That was more towards the end, science behind sales. But in the early days, it made the guys realize, the three owners of the business, that to move forward and move past the blockade right now is that they actually had to improve. That there were certain things that the individuals on the LT, so between myself, Karam, Rob Jones, and I'm trying to think, and Nick, obviously, he's unfortunately not with us anymore. There were certain things that we need to do as well. And also, he brought it in that they needed to empower us to make decisions, and that, to be frank, that they weren't always right. That, they'd employed us to help guide them. And that was the whole point of when I came on board, is that a similar kind of thing. They said they didn't know what they could do. So it was a case of, well, you've employed this person to help you move forward, listen to what he has to say. And throughout the personal coaching, in the early days, there was a lot of personal stuff that I did with Mornay in particular, which was amazing. Insights into myself, your own, like the psychometric profiling, things like that you do that help you understand you as a person and what your strengths and weaknesses are. I found that all of that super fascinating. And then as the team grew, obviously yourself coming on, Neil coming on, Nuno coming on, it's always just been fantastic. It's always been professional, diligent. We've been held to account when we've needed to. We have a laugh and a joke, which is wonderful. And see you guys more as friends than I do as people that we work together with.
Yeah, I completely agree. And so a segue question on that. So if a lot of that was the input factors, what would be the outputs? As in, like, how is it that the CEMS team is better or different as a result of working with Emerse?
Staff retention's been massive.
Interesting.
So when that was one of the bits of feedback that I received when I joined, it was they had a huge turnover of staff. There were certain reasons why with that. Obviously, turnover and profit. The turnover preceded the profit. That has to be said. It was like everything. When you grow very, very quickly, it's hard to actually make money from that because you are almost running before you can walk. So I think the first The first year that I joined, they just closed the books at 11.7. Year 2 was 13.1. Year 3 was 18.6. And then I'm not too sure exactly where we finished up last year, but it was somewhere in and around the 25 million pound mark. So significant amount of growth. We have nice new offices now. We have great staff. The LT, I feel like we have a very good dynamic. It's just the outputs itself we are now, I feel, and certainly the feedback that I've got from our clients is a very well respected, grown up professional company, which is exactly what we want it to be.
Yeah, that sounds amazing. And final question then, what advice would you give to other companies that are considering working with Emerse?
Stay in the course, giving feedback to Emerse. They don't, whatever it may be, if you're not happy with something, let the guys know. They'll tailor it to suit. It happened on a couple of occasions. There were things that we did with Emerse that we didn't like, and there was 1 or 2 instances where it was the very next session, things ran perfectly, exactly as we wanted it to. Other than that, just be nice to the guys. They're good guys.
Love it. Okay, buddy. Well, that's really kind of you. Thank you for taking the time, and thank you for sharing that thoughts and feedback.
My pleasure, my friend.